Yeah, that's right. 82% of them watch my videos and haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Isn't that terrible? Come on, rugby fans, what are you doing? G'day and welcome to Inside Rugby with Mark. My name is Mark. If you haven't been here before or you don't know, I'm a Kiwi bloke, I'm retired, I love rugby, and I'm living here in beautiful Cancun in Mexico. And the reason I started this YouTube channel is because I want to play a small role in trying to help the great game of rugby across the world to grow. And you can help me out by doing one or more of these 5 things that I'm showing on the screen right now. So please don't be one of those people that keep coming back, watching my videos, but aren't able to hit that little subscribe button, because it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me out enormously on this YouTube journey. So thank you. Now let's get into today's video. G'day everyone and welcome back if you're a regular viewer to my channel, and we've got a lot of new people on board now, so welcome to you from countries like Argentina, Uruguay, Chile, Hong Kong as well. We've got viewers tuning in from Hong Kong, Zambia, Kenya, and lots of other countries around the world. So make sure you drop a note in the comments where you're watching me from today. I'd love to know. And on the comments section, remember, if you're going to be abusive or inappropriate in the comments, you will be shown a yellow card. If you do it twice, you will be blocked from the channel. I'm not going to stand for it here on Inside Rugby with Mark. So you be nice to each other and to me, and we will get along very, very well. Now today, I thought I'd talk about the man of the hour. Yes, Rassie Erasmus, and he's got the whole world talking, or the rugby world anyway, talking about his coaching and his ability to bring the Springboks team from where they were in World Rugby and now winning back-to-back Rugby World Championships. So I've created a video called Rassie's Rubik Cube, and I'm going to get into it today because I think I know what Rassie's doing, and I want to share my humble opinion with you on that one. Look, it's no secret Rassie's building enormous amount of depth into the Springboks team, and it's all about winning the Rugby World Cup for the 3rd time in a row in Australia in 2027. And I think a lot of rugby playing nations around the world can take precedent from what Rassie's doing, and it's not just comes down to their coaching staff. And this is what I'm trying to talk a lot about when I'm talking about the All Blacks. It's not just about Razor, it's about New Zealand Rugby also getting on board and looking at the strategy they need to adopt to get to 2027 and be successful. But Rassie is doing exactly what I would expect him to do with the depth of rugby he's got in South Africa, and what he's doing to mould these players into Rugby World Cup winning championship potential. Try to say that fast, it's a bit difficult. But look, what I've done today is I've put 2 teams together that I think Rassie has been building the depth around, and these 2 teams could be a starting 15 on any given day, depending on the opposition they're going to play. And I think that's something that Rassie's looking forward to in the next Rugby World Cup. He wants to be able to put a specific team out against the opposition they're playing on that day, because let's face it, if you're playing England, you need perhaps a different strategy to beat England than you do than playing the All Blacks or playing France or playing Italy. We need to take all these things into consideration. I think Rassie's got the rugby intelligence to be able to do that, of course, and therefore he's going to have these 2 very strong teams. Now, I don't want to call them an A team or a B team or a first team or a second team. I've just put 2 groups of 15 players together for the sake of this video, and then I want you to make the comments on what you think about these players in the positions that I've got them, and of course let me know the ones that I have missed out. So let's start off with the first group of 15 players that I have selected to start a game for the Springboks, and it starts off like this, and we'll start off in the backs, and it's Damian Willemse at fullback. And of course when he comes back from injury, there's going to be a lot of hype around him. I really love Willemse. I think he's one of the best fullbacks in the world, and he's only going to get better. And I think to a large degree the Springboks have been missing him a little bit in this rugby championship so far this year. And then on the wings in this particular team, I would have Makazole Mapimpi and Cheslin Colby. That's right, I'd start off with those two. And again, we've got two different players there. Colby, of course, is brilliant with his game management, and Mapimpi is just a try-scoring machine. I think he scored a hat-trick last weekend in the Currie Cup and was playing absolutely brilliantly. So let's see if he gets selected actually to play against the All Blacks in Cape Town. More on that in another video. And then in the centres, I would have Lacano Arm and Damien Diolandi. Yes, I'd like to see those two together because I think Lacano Arm can bring so much potential to this particular Springboks team and a lot of creativity in number 13. And then inside him, inside Diolandi, I would have Andre Pollard in this team and Kobus Reinach. I think those two working together would be a good solution for the Springboks. Now again, remember, this team selection is not to play against the All Blacks at Cape Town in the weekend. This is a team selection I'm putting together as what I think Rassie is building towards in the future. Again, let me know in the comments. Okay, so those are the backs for this particular team. Now let's talk about the forwards. And in the back three, we'll start off with Jasper Visa at number 8. Thought he played really well, by the way, against the All Blacks last weekend and had a very, very good game. And then in the loosies, I would put Marco van Staden on one side and Peter Steph-Toy on the other side. Now, I'm not saying this is the best Springbok team that could be put out. I'm saying this is an alternative that Rassie is potentially looking at building. So again, make sure you drop your comments. Then moving into the locks, and in this particular team, I would have Ruan Norkia and I would have Eben Etzebeth. I think those two would complement each other really well, and who knows, we might be seeing them start against the All Blacks in Cape Town. You never know your luck. And then in the front row, I would have Frans Maherba, Bonami and Stephen Kitsoff. That would be my starting 15 for this particular team. So there we go. Let me know. Now, when it comes to the bench, we've got all those players on the other side of the coin, if we want to say, who could fill up bench positions. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So there's the first team that I think Rassie could go with. Then in the second team, and looking at the back line, and we've got at fullback, Fussy, of course, played really well, I thought, against the All Blacks last weekend. Only one or two things that he needs to wrap up on, but his counter-attacking is very dangerous, extremely good under the high ball. And I think as we head towards the next Rugby World Cup, Fussy is going to play a very important role in this Springbok squad, that's for sure. And then on the wings in this particular team, I would have Arense and I would have Kanan Moody. That's right, bring Moody back onto the wing. I think he's a real weapon out there, and if he's getting good service from his centres, then he can really be a danger. So I'd love to see Kanan Moody on the wing in this team. And then inside, I would have Jesse Kriel at 13, and I have Andre Esterhazen at number 12. So the big brute of a man in there at number 12. Jesse Kriel, of course, playing really, really good rugby and fantastic in defence as well as attack. And of course, he's a versatile player. We saw him on the wing against the All Blacks in the weekend. And then inside these two, I would have Sasha Feinberg and Ngoma Zulu, and I would have Grant Williams. So that would be a really interesting combination that I'd like to see, and it gives Rassie the flexibility to be able to go with these types of combinations. And normally we see Grant Williams coming off the bench. He's got that speed to terrorise defences in the last part of the game. But I also like to see how him and Sasha would go by starting a game, and that's why I put them in this particular selection. So there we go, that's the back line for the other team. And now let's have a look at the forwards that I would select. Let's have a look at the back loosies that I would have in this particular team. We have Lowe at number 8, we'd have Sia Kalesi on one flank, and we'd have Ben Jason Dixon on the other flank. A great loose trio here, I think, for the South African team. Moving on to the locks, and we'd have Franco Mostart and we'd have RG Schneemann, and I think those two would be fantastic. Of course, we've got them out at the moment, but coming back into the team, I would like to see them in this team as another option. Then moving into the front row, and we'd have Steenkamp, Malcolm Marks and Oxen Chair, and I think that would be a pretty devastating front row to take on most teams in World Rugby. So there we go, those are the two teams that I would put together to take on different teams as we head towards the next Rugby World Cup. Of course, Rassie is building this depth across the South African squad, and I think it's all in mind of being able to look at, okay, we're playing this opposition next weekend, then I think this is the best suited team that can play for it. The other thing that I think Rassie is doing is that when he does have injury troubles, which obviously are going to occur all the time, then he's going to be able to pull one player out of a particular position and slot another one in and not lose anything in terms of the game strategy. And I think that's really, really important. So whether or not some of these players are starting off the bench or whether they're starting in the first 15, I think the goal of Rassie is to build a team that's cohesive across all positions, that he can inter-slot whenever he needs to, either from the bench, have them starting and coming on and making that impact. And I think that's one of the great things I love about the South African team at the moment, is that they're able to select those players to come on the bench that really have a true impact. And I think this is where all the other top teams in World Rugby need to take notice and start working on their plans on how they're going to do that, because that last 20 minutes of every game in the next Rugby World Cup is going to be absolutely vital, and you need to be able to have not only the physicality and the energy, but you also need to have the creativity, the execution skills, and the ability to be able to read the game. So I think that's going to be paramount as we head towards the next Rugby World Cup. So there we go. Today I just wanted to put two different team selections together for South Africa that I would see that Rassie's trying to build. Again, these combinations could be changed around. I'm sure you're going to give me lots of different possibilities in the comments. And of course, there's still some other players that I haven't mentioned in these two teams, and you might want to throw those out there as well. I look forward to reading it. Now, I look at all the comments on my channel, and that's why I know whether or not you're making an inappropriate comment on my channel, because I love learning from you all. I love looking at your points of view. Even if you totally disagree with me, that's totally fine on this channel. I'm not going to get upset. I'm a big boy now. I can handle it. So I just love reading everybody else's perspective on this great game of rugby. So make sure you keep those coming. And of course, if you can help me grow this channel so that I can play a small role in helping the great game of rugby across the world to grow, I would be really, really appreciative of it. Now, to all the new viewers that have just recently joined us here on Inside Rugby with Mark, don't be shy to make a comment. It doesn't matter about your level of knowledge about the game of rugby. We are all one big global rugby family. We all started somewhere in terms of watching and supporting this great game of ours. And if you're coming from a country that's not yet recognised as one of the big rugby playing nations in the world, let us know, because I would love to know that in the comments as well. Okay, I'm going to be back again really soon with some more content. We're heading up to another weekend of rugby championship competition. We've got the Springboks playing the All Blacks in Cape Town, and we've got Australia and Argentina taking on their second game in Argentina this weekend. So I'm going to be putting out videos about those two games. Once the teams are announced, I'll give you my views, and then we'll do the pre-game show, and I'll talk about strategy and everything else. So there you go. There's a good reason to stick around on my channel. Now, before I go, I want to say stay well, stay safe, everyone. Keep enjoying your rugby no matter where you are in the world. And I'll see you again really soon from here in beautiful Cancun in Mexico. Until next time, it's adios for now. Bye-bye.